All right, welcome to another workshop offered by the University of Kentucky and the Office of Work Life and Benefits. Today, we have the privilege of welcoming Councilwoman Denise Gray with us to talk about locking into your local government. And she's going to be sharing insights on how to connect with the government and just exactly how to they serve you and when to reach out to them for support. So, Councilwoman Gray, we're happy to have you with us today.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me to speak about how to lock into local government. So everyone, you can't see me yet because I want you all to see the screen that I'm sharing. Um, I am Denise Gray, Councilwoman for the 6th District. Um, since being in office, I learned there's so much that our residents in Lexington do not know. In fact, there's so much that I learned once I was elected in 20, well, I believe I was elected in November of 22 to be the 6th District Council member. Now I'm in my second term as councilwoman for this district, and I've learned a lot, and I want to make sure our residents have the same information that I have. So welcome, and I look forward to teaching you all as much as I can in this short period of time. So, here's my intro. So you want to know who I am and what do I do as a council member? So I am Denise Gray. I grew up here in Lexington. I am a native of the actual district that I have the pleasure of serving in. Prior to being a council member, I was a lawyer who then gave up practicing law in order to work with what I call our next generation of leaders in Fayette County Public Schools. And my district, the 6th district, happens to have the most Fayette County Public Schools programs in it. So it's all makes sense. And it makes sense that you have a reformed educator, as I call myself, that has the most schools. And it gives me an opportunity to be inside our Fayette County Public Schools as often as possible to let the students know that, hey, I actually was a student here at Mary Todd. I was actually a student here at Northern and Bryan Station Middle School and Bryan Station High School. And you too can go on to be a leader in our city, our Commonwealth, and even our nation, no matter where you come from. So, as a council member, I actually came into this office after I believe it was my predecessor. And prior to me being here, there was a lot of information that unfortunately was not divulged to the residents. So in my position, I'm doing all I can to make sure that I communicate with my residents. So here is a long list of some of the things that that I do. Of course, I listen. Your council member, our job is to listen, to resolve your issues, to be your voice. We are actually the people that you represent to be your advocate here and fight for your concerns. And I take my role as your council member extremely seriously. So I'm one of those people, I love to hear from my residents. So many things that I didn't know that council members do is besides voting on ordinances and policies, we also are the people who decide which local roads are paved. So we're talking about local roads, the roads that are in your neighborhood. What I learned as being a council member is that we have different categories of roads. We have many state roads, which such includes New Circle, Liberty Road, um, Winchester Road. I'm trying to think of some roads on other sides of town besides the northeast. But such as Limestone is considered to be a state road. So we work in conjunction with the state on numerous occasions to ensure that our roads are paved adequately. We are in charge of public safety. So if there's ever any disciplinary issues with our police or with our firefighters, those decisions, the chief brings those to the council. Um, we are in charge, of course, ensuring that our parks are at least our grass is cut. That's a big complaint that I have over here with my residents. Of course, we work with leaders in our government, um, such as the mayor, to ensure that your needs are being met. I have taken it one step further in ensuring that I'm hearing directly from the residents by ensuring that I have at least two district-wide meetings to communicate directly with my residents, as well as attending the neighborhood association and HOA meetings as often as possible. One thing that I did not know before being a council member is that we act as a semi-judicial body in hearing zone change hearings, such as in the news recently, we had a zone change hearing that went on for 5.5 hours regarding the former Transy baseball field that is located in the Radcliffe Marlboro neighborhood. We are the deciding factors in that. Um, the list is long in what council members do. So there is so much people, when I speak with residents, they say things like, I'm gonna talk to the mayor about your office. But most people don't understand, guess what? The mayor is not the council member's boss. Guess who is our boss? You, the residents of Lexington, are the council member and the mayor's boss. Overall, you are our boss of everyone here in local government. So here with the hierarchy or organizational chart, you will see that right here, I don't know if you can see my cursor, my mouse, but I'm circling here. You are our boss. And over here, you see that the mayor and the council are on the same footing. So this is something that I'm hoping to make clear to our residents that although the mayor is full-time, and by the way, did you know that your city council members are part-time? Well, we're part-time solely in pay because I can tell you for a fact, I work at least 80 hours per week to ensure that my their needs are met. Each council member is gifted, or we have an employee who is our legislative aide who is full-time and actually makes more than your council member. In fact, our legislative aide almost makes triple the pay of your elected council member, which is interesting because it differs. That's different from just about every city in the United States. And I'm hopeful that our residents will call on for our city council members to be paid an adequate pay. So as you see in our government, we have different divisions. We have our Department of Environmental Quality and Public Works. That division or department is in charge of our building inspection, our Department of Engineering, Environmental Services, our street and roads. You heard a lot about our streets and roads during January with our not paving, but our plowing or the lack thereof. And with that, as you see with this chart, the council has no say-so over anything dealing with our plowing schedule. We also have our street engineering, our waste management, and our water quality, which is all under the executive office, which is the mayor. And then you can see also by this chart the numerous other divisions that we have. All of these divisions are under the executive office's control. The only area that we, the council members, have the power over, per se, are our council clerk, our independent, and this is an independent internal audit. So we always have someone auditing everything that we do, and we have no control over that office, which it's very independent. And under the council, we have our citizens advocate, which you can call to make complaints or ask questions of. So in the city of Lexington, this is our map. We have a total of 12 districts. I'll give you time to figure out where you live, and so you can see which district you're in. Okay. So this right here is the 6th district. As you see, this is my district. My district is on the northeast of Lexington. And then all around Lexington, we have the 12th district. So the 12th district has our rural neighborhoods for the most part. And the 6th district, once again, right here, is northeast. And in my district alone, as you can see the shape of it, I have some of the most diverse people in our district. In my district, I have some of the most impoverished to the most wealthy residents. If you go to Sam's Club, guess where you're going? You're going to the 6th district. If you go to Hamburg, guess where you are? You are in the 6th district. If you go to Malone's or to Wild Eggs, guess where you are? The 6th district. If you go down Todd's Road on your left, you're going to be in the 6th district. So it's a very long and interesting district. So next, did you know that you actually have 4 council members? That was something I did not know prior to being a council member. And that you have 3 council members who are at large. And the member at large that has the most votes automatically becomes our vice mayor. And in this respect, we have Vice Mayor Dan Wu. We have James Brown at large, who was prior to this he was the first district council member. And of course, we have good old Chuck Ellinger, who rounds out as your third council member at large. All 3 of them are your council member. So if you reach out to your district council member, guess what? And you don't receive a response, you can always reach out to Vice Mayor Dan Wu, Council Member James Brown, or Chuck Ellinger. In fact, I welcome you to email all 4 of us if you have any concerns, and that way you will get a response. I'm trying to think if there's anything else right here that I would like. Also, if you notice at the makeup of our council, the past 2 councils have been the most diverse councils in Kentucky history. Going forward, my goal is that I hope that our council continues to fully represent how diverse Lexington is. Once again, it's a predominantly female council. We have our first Asian American council member. The last council had our first Latina. And I'm hoping to have more diverse individuals run for a council, because when we have diverse representation, we have diverse ideas. Next, do you know who your council member is? Or do you know how to find them? I'm looking at your face as if your face is up. Do you know? No, most people don't know how to figure out who their council member is. So I'm going to click here. So currently, Lexington or LFUCG, we have a new website, a website that we hope that is easier for our residents to navigate and get the information. So I'm going to click there. And right here is our new page. And if you go down here, scroll down, you go Lex Find, you can put your address in. So I'm going to put in 200, let's see, let's see, Main Street. That is the location of your city government. That's where I am right now, 200 East Main Street. And I'm going to click there. And if you see, you can see you get information about your waste pickup day down here. It's daily. Also, you see where your police come from. Here it's the central sector, which is the central sector is located in the Eastland Shopping Center. And if you see over here, you see your voting precinct. And we see that if you reside here at the government center, you will be voting at the Phoenix Park, close to the Central Library. And you are in Council District 3. Your council member is Hannah LeGree. Your state senator is Reginald Thomas, aka Reggie Thomas. That means you are in the 13th Senate District. And that means that your state representative is George Brown Jr., which means you're in the 77th legislative district. And also it gives you information about the nearest parks and it, let's see if I can click here. And right here, it gives you a description of where your parks are in your area, right there. So it's basically a one-stop shop for you to find any information about your area that's directly involves you. Okay. So also you can click here on, you can go to Civic Lex. Civic Lex is a nonprofit that LFUCG works in conjunction with often. They are a great resource for our residents in that Civic Lex, these right here are great resources to you. It's ways that shows you how to get involved, which we will talk in its how you can register to vote. You can receive newsletters from Civic Lex, and also it just gives some scorecards for you. This is a great resource for you. You can sign up for newsletters from them, but I don't want to inundate everyone with tons of emails. Who wants that? Not me. So, do you know when to call your council member? Most people don't know when. So, I will tell you when. Anytime you have any concern whatsoever, often, such as when your light is out on your street, call your council member. Or email your council member. Any reason whatsoever, if you have a car that's parking in their yard, guess who do you call? Your council member. Or you can always call 311, which we call our one call for City Hall. So another thing is if you would like to send an email to your council members, let's see if I can go back. Let's see here. I hope you can see my screen. Over here, you see right here, it has the Mayor Gordon there side by side with our county council. And there is a way for you to email every single council member at one time. Email all council members. When you do this, if you click to send an email to all council members, or if you send an email to any individual council member by clicking on our names here, Denise Gray, I'll click there. That's me. With my bio, with information about everything that I do, you see that I did host a code enforcement update town hall. I do a lot of town halls and a lot of meetings to engage the residents. You also are able to sign up for newsletters by clicking on our name and clicking here, newsletter signups. You see our email is there. This is how you sign up for my newsletter, right there. So when you send an email to all council members or to any council member, or whenever you call us, you want to include in your voicemail message and in your email your name. You think that's a silly thing to say, but guess what? How often do I believe most of my emails, people do not send any of the information that's on your screen there. So your mailing address, especially if you send an email to all council members, if you do not include your mailing address, your physical address of your property, you will not, and I will, let me say this again, you will most likely, let's do 9.5. Well, let's do 99.99% chance you will not have a response from anyone. Because as district council members, I know for me, I'm only seeking out emails from my residents because that is my job. And although city council at large members should respond to that, most likely you will not. So I urge you to include your physical address and your contact number. And of course, if you send an email, we already have your email address. But if you're calling, please give that information as well. My goal is to make sure that every resident receives an adequate and quick response whenever they send communication. So another way, a way for residents to get engaged with our local government is to join a board or commission. Let's see if I have next. Oh, I'll click on, let's see. Yes, I do. LFUCG, we have over 70 boards and commissions, and we need people. We are such need of new individuals to sign up to be a member of our board. And let's see if I can click here. Oh, I cannot. Well, goodness, and I don't know if I can go back. Let's see. Let's see if I can go here. If you go on lexingtonky.gov, click on government. Let's see. Boards and commissions. You see this right here? Click here on your boards and commissions. Click. We have every single boards and commission listed. If you would like, you see anything that sparks your interest, guess what? We probably have an empty seat for you. And there are several opportunities for residents to involve, such as with our park and recreations, with our family care center. Many people don't know that we actually have schools that LFUCG actually pays for, such as our family care center, which is we have residents who are typically underage. Actually, they are underage or single parents who bring their preschool age students to have education. And we actually pay for LFUCG's. LFUCG actually pays for transportation in conjunction with Fayette County Public Schools. So, that's, I don't know how many people knew that we had a school that we were in charge of, such as also the alternative school, the Grievous School, which is for an alternative school for our youth. It's part of our social services. So we actually pay for a portion of that as well. So how do you engage and give your input? The City Council has a site called Engage Lexington. This is an opportunity for residents to sign up. Let's see, but I don't think I can click on that. But where residents can go and sign up, and actually there's a way for you to give your input into things such as how Lexington grows. Before becoming a council member, I didn't know that Lexington has something called the urban service boundary. I had no idea that although Lexington, the city, and our county merged over 50 years ago, that means that we are one of the few places in the nation where the city and the county are one. Whereas, we have Jefferson County that has Louisville, it has St. Matthews, it has so many other areas in there where they have their own local governments. Here, it's all merged into one. So this will be an opportunity for residents to give their input to see how we grow. And with that let me wrap that up with our urban service boundary. In Lexington, if you notice in the previous council district map, we had the 12th district that wraps around all of the other districts. Those right there is that's a sort of a visual image of what the urban service boundary is, in that you have most of our businesses within our districts 1 through 11. You have most of our businesses, our schools, our residences are there. And when we extended our boundary, we extended a little bit more into our 12th district, ensure that we can build more houses there. So right now, you have to go through a whole zone change hearing. You have to go through the Planning Commission in order to build. And more likely than not, it will probably be declined. But we're working on that here. Another way to engage with your local government is to follow us on social media. I know at my office, we typically give out more information than necessary, but I'm doing that because I know that the residents of my district have felt left out of the process. So I give an abundance of information of what's going on with LFUCG and inside our district. So I urge you to sign up for your council members' district newsletters. Our city council at large, typically they do not have newsletters, but I urge you to sign up for your district. Next, do you know how to attend a public our council meetings and to give public input? This is something that residents don't know. First of all, council meetings typically happen unless there's a special meeting happening. We have work session meetings that occur on Tuesdays beginning at 3 p.m. Our committee meetings, and we have of our committee meetings or the standing committees that the council has, we have our social services and public safety. We have our general government and planning committee. We have our EQPW, and that's environmental quality and public works, which lists all those things that I included earlier, which is the waste management to our streets and roads to our traffic engineering. It's a massive one. And I believe, and then we have our BFED, which is our budget. Our job as council members, overall, a big part of it is determining our budget. Although the mayor gives a mayor's proposed budget, it is the council that actually approves and sets the budget. And that's something the residents don't understand because I often hear residents and even our media give kudos and to our mayor. And actually, most of what happens with our government is with the council. We're the ones that set the rules and the laws, and our mayor's job is to implement the laws that we establish and the budget we establish. So when you attend, oh, lastly, council meetings occur solely on Thursdays at 6 p.m. And by city charter, which is our city law, um, we must have two council meetings each month. So typically it's every other Thursday that we have a council meeting. So if you decide you would like to speak at a work session meeting, or at a council meeting, we urge you to arrive in advance, at least 30 minutes in advance. Meetings take place on the second floor in our government building. You will need your ID in order to enter. However, if you do arrive without your ID, security has informed me that they will just merely input your information into our database and you will still be able to enter. When you do enter up on the second floor, and we have iPads and staff that are there to sign you up to speak. If you have handouts, you will leave them with the council staff that is there. And then you go to, of course, our chambers. And once we begin, depending on if your issue is on the agenda or not on our agenda, you will speak first. If the issue is on our agenda for a council meeting, you will speak first. If it is not on our agenda, you will speak at the very end. But you still, no matter what, you still have to be there in advance to sign up. So if you cannot make it down here to one of our council meetings, do you know how to watch a council meeting virtually? Most do not. So I'm going to show you all quickly. So if you go to our website, at the top of our screen, no matter where you are, it's in our header. You will click on Lex TV. You will scroll down. If it's a live meeting, you will click on our live stream there. And I will go back. So right here, you will see exactly what is on our screen, right, or on Lex TV right now. However, if you would like to watch an archived or like our work session from yesterday or a committee meeting that you would just like to go back and see, we have archived videos all the way back to 2007. So, woo, we have them all. So this is a one stop right here for you to see all the videos. Click here for archive videos. It's our urban city council meeting. There you will see our special meetings and any and all of our meetings right here. If you would like to see our work session, it's all right there. And we have the video and the agenda. I will click here so you can see how, well, I'm not sure you can see that. So it pops up right there. You could. Excellent. So you see, and right here, you can click on the agenda so you can see exactly what we spoke about, and it will have our entire packet. Our entire packet is there so you can see what we were asking about. Everything is there. Nothing that we do here as council members is secret. Everything is public record. So if you ever hear council members say, oh, it's private, guess what? That's not true. Everything we do from the emails that we receive. So be careful what you place in an email to us. Everything is subject to open records request. Okay. Oh, I just answered that question. When are council sessions and meetings? By the way, I just explained that our our committees are on 1 p.m. on Tuesday. Every Tuesday at 1 p.m. there is a committee meeting that is taking place. Um, every Tuesday at 3 p.m. we have work sessions. The most important meeting for residents to attend or watch is actually the work session, believe it or not. That's when we ask the questions about the laws or the pending ordinances and pending budget changes right then. And Thursdays are council meetings. Everything's a done deal at that point. Everything is a done deal. The only thing we do at council meetings are give the two readings. By city charter, we must give two readings to each ordinance. So if you want to have your voice heard before decisions are made, communicate with your council members before our work session, or show up to our work sessions. And here is a schedule of our the remainder up until June, our council work sessions and our council meetings. I just want you to have that so you can have a record of when to tune in or when to go forward and look for the meetings. What if I have a problem or concern or question regarding something in Lexington? Who do I call first besides council members? Guess what? We have Lex Call 311. It's our one call for City Hall. If you call 311, they connect you to whomever you need to be connected to. If you don't know your council member's number, they will connect you and they can give you your number. If you have a code enforcement complaint, you can go to you can either call Lex Call 311 or you can actually go to, and I'm going to show you at the top of our screen, it says Lex Call 311. Before I go there, also notice here at the top of our screen, we also have ways to put the entire website in another language. In Lexington, we have almost 200 different dialects or different languages that are spoken. In my district, Curriwandan, that was one I didn't know we had that. Because we have a lot of residents from Rwanda here. We have Lex Call 311. Click here. And if you have a complaint of any sort, you click here. You don't even need to call your council member. You click on Submit a Service Request. Click. And here you put all your information in. If you do not put your email in at the very end, guess what? You will not receive an update of what's going on. So let me go back here. And I have worked it out with our Lex Call 311 to make sure that we give a wraparound in order, once you submit, currently as things are, when you put in a request, you receive an email that has your complaint number. Now, in the future, there will be also an email to let you know that the issue has been remedied along with the case number, and it will allow you to go to our map. where you can click on, see here, click on your issue. So here we have a complaint or comments. Regarding here, you can click here to see what it was, pull up the service request, and you see the complaint. And here it's been completed. Our complaints stay up for, I believe, 60 days, and then they come off. Right here are all of some really important numbers for you to have. Code enforcement, health department. Although health department is not part of LFUCG, we do have a council member that is on the board, as well as our commissioner of social services that is part of that board. All of these numbers are very important. Of course, revenue. If you pay your LexServe online, that is always a go-to. Also, something that most residents do not know is that, guess what? When you pay your taxes, your property taxes, do only a small fraction, like 1%, comes to the city. Most of your property taxes are due to Fayette County Public Schools. So I urge you, when you get your property bill statement, unfortunately, they have increased immensely, unfortunately. That is due to Fayette County Public Schools. So, and that is totally separate from LFUCG. So that is David O'Neill, our PVA, and the sheriff's office that is charged with sending out the notices. If you have concerns about your speeding cars, speeding vehicles, although right here we do have neighborhood traffic link right here that you can go to create submit a form for traffic calming measures. You can also reach out to your council members as well, and we can directly send you the information. When you do send in a traffic calming request, make sure you include your council member, your district council member in the email. That way your council member can stay on top of it and make sure that you are followed up. One thing many residents don't know is, guess what? Each council member is allotted this year $15,000 to give to your neighborhood associations or to nonprofits that are in good standing with the Secretary of State. And typically those funds are given out or around about $1,000, depending on what it is. And also you can get more than $1,000 by your council member doing something called a pass around. So for example, I had a nonprofit contact me last week regarding wanting to do school plays at several schools in my district. They completed what we call a neighborhood development fund request, and I allotted them actually $1,500 to have plays at Dixie Magnet Elementary and Mary Todd Elementary. So those are some things free. Well, it's not nothing that we do is free, but it's some money that can help your neighborhood out to beautify your neighborhood. So if you have a neighborhood association, I urge you to make sure you reach out to us because I want to give my neighborhood associations funds to beautify the neighborhood. So, do I have any questions? So let's see in the chat. So the first question I received is, can a person attend a meeting without providing identification? Yes, yes, you can. You are able to, because that was a question for me yesterday. I wanted to make sure I had an answer for you all because that concerned me as well, because there are many barriers to some residents actually getting their ID, unfortunately. So, yes, you can attend a council meeting without your ID. As I stated, the security will input your whatever information you give into our system, and you will receive a badge that you will place on your chest while you're here, which will signify that you're a guest or that you're not an employee. Actually, you're not a guest. This is your home. Our city government belongs to you. Um, let's see. I will note that the work sessions are, yes, that, so I will just read this off. I will note that the work sessions are during our normal work hours. However, the business community and other professional advocates have their paid staff and show up to these meetings to advance their priorities. Yes. And that for me has been an issue in that I want to ensure that our residents have the ability to show up to these meetings as they're timed right now. Most regular people are working. I, as a former Fayette County Public Schools educator, was never able to attend any of our meetings at 3 p.m. because I actually had a real job at the time. Now I'm just this. Um, so yes, I do see a hand up. So did you want to come on the mic?
Sure, it's Terry Keys here with the Markey Cancer Center, and thank you for your presentation today. I'm the one who put in there noting that it's during our regular work hours, and I found it very disconcerting. I have been down to the council chambers on one or two occasions, and I found it very disconcerting that ordinary citizens who are it's in the middle of their workday can't get down there without using vacation time to, or just being gone from work and not getting paid for it. But I saw the swarm of people who were paid attorneys. They're the business owners. They're down there talking about all the reasons why their priorities should be put forward. And there are very few people, unless you have some big event coming up, there are very few people really talking against that. And I find that distasteful in all kinds of for all kinds of reasons. But we should do a better job of making sure that Lexingtonians have more of a voice in what's happening. Because if you've only got two people, well, let's say you have five people to listen to, four of them are paid, three of those are attorneys, and one of them happens to be a citizen. You've got four against one, three who are paid to be there and professionally know all the ins and outs of what's happening with our city government. And it's not an even playing field.
And you're correct. It is not a level playing ground right now. But this council, currently we're working to see if we can adjust our schedule. This has been an issue since when I came into office, that I brought up and several of my colleagues brought up as well. As of right now, we have not been able to adjust it, but we're working to adjust it in order to counteract the inability currently to move our work session meetings. The council has been going out into community and doing several events so that we can have one-on-one contact. I believe later on this month, we have two events that are planned that I believe that our urban council Facebook page has shared. By the way, we do have our urban council that covers every single office, has its own newsletter that asks for input from each district council member and at large, as well as its own Facebook, so its social media presence as well. But we're working on it. I understand the hardship because I'm just like everybody else. And it is hard for regular people who have real lives, who are dealing with not only their families working and making sure that their personal life is in okay, and ensuring that they actually know about what's going here at local government. So we're working on it, and I understand the issue.
Thank you for that. I really appreciate it. And I would like to follow up that when I was listening to your presentation again, the reason we're here is to learn more, correct? But you said on more than one occasion, do you understand? Do you know? Most people
Mhm.
don't know.
No, they don't.
So, right, they don't. And so I have to tell you that that's one of two reasons they don't know. One, because we don't do social sciences the way we used to, so people learn about government. That's one thing. But the other one is, I think the impetus is really on urban county government to make sure that they find ways that connect and educate our citizens. Now, this is yet one example, but there are 12, 13 people. There were 13 people when I got on, 13 people in this. Well, there are 21,000 people who work at the University of Kentucky.
Indeed.
right? So that's not accounting the 30,000 students who are here, right? So we've got a whole bunch of people who are here in this community. And what happens to us when the students aren't here affects them when they come back. Our
Yes.
parks, our parks affect them, the taxes that they have to pay, whether or not we have good oversight for the housing that they have. All of that comes back to Urban County government. So I would tell you, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I use 311 all of the time. But we need to do a better job. We mean citizens and Urban County Council and Mayor Gordon need to do a better job of educating people about what's out there so that they are engaged and don't have to think about coming to something at a one, at a 1 o'clock on a Wednesday. I think today's
Yeah, a Tuesday.
Wednesday, right?
Mhm.
So
And another way that I'm going to share my screen one more time because I left something out that was not in the slide. One thing that council members do that I do, let me do it this way. I do to educate my residents. I'm a reformed educator and I believe I can teach you anything. I can teach you algebra and trigonometry and I can't do those, but I can teach it to you. So one thing I like to do is each council member has, let me see if I can find the screen. 3. Each council member has the ability to create council comments. And with the council comments, each month we get 15 minutes where we can educate our residents. One thing that I do, I like to find inventive ways. I think that I'm a comedian. I know I'm hilarious and I can teach you anything. So in order to make our some dry subjects easier to understand, each council member creates count let me do this. Council comments. So this is mine right here.
And very special guest,
Can you see that?
Director Lee Field.
Okay.
Go.
So
Hello, everyone.
So with this
Denise
council
Gray,
comment-
your Councilwoman for the 6th District.
So last year, or when I became a council member, I took up code enforcement to revamp it because I received so many complaints regarding code enforcement. And I just presented the basically 2 years of work that I did along with the residents. And this is Director Steele, the new Director of Code Enforcement, where and this is us wrapping up all the information, all the dry information. And a way for me to make dry information entertaining is I created a game show. So this is rare. Most council district council comments do not look like this.
My office has received from residents.
So we'll watch just a second.
Regarding code enforcement. And oftentimes, many of the things are not covered by code enforcement. So in this game, I'm going to give you some of those scenarios and you're going to say, let us know if it's code enforcement or not. Okay. We'll start off with a really easy. You ready?
Yes.
Okay. You ready, audience? Let's do this. Okay. My neighbor has a giant pile of trash in the middle of their front yard. It's been there for over a month. And they have 3 junk cars parked there in the front yard too. Is that code enforcement or not?
It is split.
Oh.
Part of it is code enforcement with trash and debris, and the cars parked in the yard falls to the Lex Park.
Okay, Lexington, or even our traffic safety.
Our non-emergency public safety, yes.
Yeah.
So that's a way that I like to do things out of the box. I like to use my humor to make things that are necessarily very entertaining at all. Like in one video, I had an eagle that flew me around the city of Lexington. It was about a week without driving. And I just like to do things that make things more entertaining and actually where people will watch. So I know that people typically don't know. I put these in all my newsletters every single month that I do a council comment. And if you go to youtube.com and you put in the search Lex TV, all is one, you will be able to find tons of information from going back to, once again, the maybe 20 years ago of council comments. But I urge you all to take a gander, take a look at my council comments, because although it's a lot of not so sit at the edge of your seat and exciting information, I hope that my videos are at least entertaining enough where people receive the information and aren't put to sleep. So that's another thing that council members do to keep their residents informed of what's going on. We're coming up close on the hour, but I'm gonna ask Billy, oh, excuse me. Let me go down. It says, can you share information about Lex Senior Intern Program? So, my colleague Chuck Ellinger, he's in charge. His father was actually a council member, and I guess he's keeping it in the family. So he works in conjunction each year with the senior services. So if you go to lexingtonky.gov and you put in the search senior intern program.
Awesome.
Sorry.
Here's another one. You ready?
Yes.
No, we're not ready for that. Nope, we're not ready. If you put in our search, let me share my screen one more time. Share. You get me pointing at you in a second? There I am pointing at you. Hey, making sure you got the information. lexingtonky.gov. Here, I hope it works, you all. Because senior intern. Let's see. Actually, this is just telling you, actually, seniors are invited. This is from last year. They haven't put out the search yet. All you do is just put a search in there for our, and send an email to, her name is Christy Strumball, and ask to sign up to be part of the intern program. It is a week-long opportunity for our seniors to learn a lot about what goes on with our local government. They interact with our public safety. They interact with our planning department, our council members, every single level of government. They learn every single thing about that entire week. And it ends off with a ceremony at one of the hotels downtown. So that it's a great opportunity for our residents. Also, we do have opportunities for residents to get involved, such as with did you know we have a citizens police academy, a citizens fire department program as well? It's a way for residents to learn the ins and outs and all of the different categories that are within our public safety. For example, people get to ride on or veer around the motorcycles. Our motorcycles are our mounted police, our helicopter team, and all our SWAT. It's not called SWAT, but it's similar to our SWAT. And with our fire department, you get to learn about our hazmat and all our different programs within that program, that department, that is. And the question about how does one run to become a council member? And I failed to mention this. One thing I love about being a council member is that it is nonpartisan. Hooray! I love the fact that no matter what we talk, it has nothing to do with a political affiliation. Although you can tell how, for the most part, not at all times, you can tell where each council member lies in their political affiliation. So each council member, let's see, must reside in their district if you're interested in being a council member. District council members serve 2 years. So, and our at-large council members serve 4 years. So district council members are running for office all the time. It never stops. Everything we do, we're running for office. And which isn't necessarily fun. It's not fun. At one point in everything with our local government stops because we cannot if you're on the ballot, you cannot make decisions about our budget at all. We are not able to give out funding for our neighborhood development funds. Nothing with money can take place. Let's see, because I know we're at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, you all. And if you have any more questions, let me finish up that question. So you must be 18 years of age in order to be a council member. There are 0 requirements for um, regarding your political affiliation. You just must reside in your district for a certain period of time. Those are it. There's no educational qualifications. There's none. All you do is come down to the clerk's office during when filing takes place and pay $50. That is all it takes to get on the ballot to become a council member. If you have any other questions, I love answering questions, and I love hearing from you all or the residents. You can always contact me at dgray, that's DGRAY, at lexingtonky.gov. My office number is 859-280-8243. And I'm hopeful that you will, if you're on social media, you will look for Lexington's 6th District. That's the name on all modes of social media. Lexington's 6th District. That's Lexington with an S, C or 6TH District. And you can find me on Instagram. You can find the office on Facebook. Thank you for your time, and I hope to hear from you about any questions. And I'm working to ensure that our meetings are held at better times for our residents, because it is my goal to keep you part of the process every single step of the way.